I would say the number one culprit that stops men from creating attraction with women has to do with an inability to handle pressure, causing a situation where you create a very beautiful social and safe relationship with a woman, but find yourself doubting and overthinking how you're going to bridge that physical gap. The more you start doubting and overthinking, the harder it becomes to organically create real attraction. And as I've worked with a lot of men on this subject, I can tell you that men speak too soon, too fast and too early as a result of pressure. So learning extra techniques and doing extra stuff, let's be honest, isn't gonna change your dating life. What you need is one simple handle to hold on to that will allow you to step into this world of lower energy, where you can make her feel your male energy in a safe way. And I like to call that handle the Hal Rule. Something that I accidentally discovered, started teaching, and then found out how ridiculously effective this is, especially for more introspective men. So in this video, I'm going to tell you everything there's to know about this dynamic range between lower and higher energy, and then how to use the Hal Rule as a stepping stone for you to start expressing that lower energy. And you'll quickly find out how naturally attractive you actually can be when you start doing less. So let's get into it. So let's gamify this a little bit. Let's call this the attraction game, where you want to score attraction points on a meter from 0 to 100. Where 0 obviously represents being as aroused as your old fridge, and 100 being, well, the big difference that we have to acknowledge is that we can go from 0 to 100 in a second. You might already be at 100 when she is still at 12, still looking at the menu. And so the best seducers, the natural seducers, they come to enjoy the attraction game. And I want to make that very clear as we get into this. This is not some technique or some way for you to get something from someone. The attraction game should be something you come to enjoy regardless of the result of the date or whatever comes out of it. And that joy very much comes from you expressing yourself. You expressing yourself as a man and creating attraction with a woman in a natural way. So the mindset to start all of this is to scrap this idea that you want to get something from a date or from a woman. And that we shift to a mindset of, we're gonna enjoy this game, okay? And so the objective for you in the game of attraction is for you to make her feel your energy so that she energetically responds to it, creating a spiral that is also known as attraction. Attraction, even though it's a vague topic, is nothing more than a spiral of energy where two people are responding positively towards each other's energy. So if she doesn't feel your energy, then that spiral obviously never will start. So attraction never starts. And so the game has two phases. Let's begin. Phase one is higher energy. You as a man have two energies, in fact. You have your higher energy and your lower energy. I've mentioned this in a previous video, so I will be brief. Your higher energy is your social, safe, inviting, charming, giving space. The energy that makes people like to be around you. It is the socially calibrated, safe part of your energy. And you need it. It is as vital, of course, as the lower energy that we'll get into in phase two. And I'll tell you why it's important, because I'm assuming I'm speaking to a gentleman, not a playboy that inauthentically wants to manipulate women. The importance comes from the idea of safety. While we go out and then at 4 a.m. start walking alone at home like fucking Conor McGregor, not giving a shit, she actually cares about her safety and constantly is making these assumptions and has to pay logical reason, right? The logical part of her, which we don't really want to activate. She's constantly using that reason to make sure that she's safe. And that's something you must understand as a gentleman. So the first phase of the attraction game is making her feel your higher energy, making her feel that you are a safe, socially calibrated human being that can give her the sense that she is safe in your presence, and that now she can shut off that faculty of reason and logic, because that's preventing attraction too from her side, to make her feel safe and to relax in her femininity. And if I may use my clients, more introspective, goal-oriented men, as a benchmark for you who I'm talking to, then I dare to assume that your higher energy isn't the problem. That you're a very socially calibrated man that can make her feel safe, very kind and respectful, and this is likely not the issue. But if you think you need to repress your nice guy energy or that you cannot be kind, then you are royally mistaken. What this will do is it will help you be very inauthentic and help you attract women that respond very well to manipulative push and pull tactics, and these aren't the kind of feminine women that we typically are interested in. Do not repress your higher energy, it is very important, and it will remain important also in phase 2. So she now feels safe in your energy. You've let her know that you are a socially calibrated man who is doing things in life and very charming and inviting and safe. Okay, and so that is your invite to start showing her your lower energy. So again, briefly, what is lower energy? If you want to learn more about this, check the other video. I will tag it somewhere on the screen. Well, it is your sexual energy. The fact that you are actually sexually attracted to her.
What the fuck is going on here?
And the courage to express that to her in a respectful fashion, like a gentleman and not like a pervert. And I can tell you exactly what the difference is so that there's no confusion. So the playboy type or the pervy dude has an uncalibrated amount of sexual energy. Disproportionately so, he's making his lower energy be felt, and now there's a lack of higher energy, which is why I told you the importance of this higher social safe energy is that it provides the shell for you to express your lower energy. Why? Because sexual energy is pressure. Making someone feel sexual energy is pressure. That is the tightrope that a good seducer learns to master. Because while that pressure is absolutely necessary to make anyone feel attraction, when there's too much of it, then it will just become uncomfortable. So the gentleman in phase 2 is introducing the lower energy, but to create this dynamic range. That is phase 2, and that is the zone where you will stay, creating this very playful dynamic between higher and lower, and that's what increases that attraction meter in the attraction game. If you want to try that out for yourself and you're seeing someone currently, when you come back home from wherever you went, I want you to suddenly push her against the wall, safely of course, and kiss her randomly, out of nowhere. Suddenly you pull back and you go do some shit. You go do the laundry or go to the fridge or whatever. This is a very good example of that dynamic range, because what does this tell a woman? He is in tune with the sexual energy, so he desires me, which she wants to feel, which she wants to know, but also the self-control that goes along with it. And that is incredibly attractive. You're able to be the higher energy and you're able to be the lower energy. And you are aware of the impact that has on her. And so while that is a more extreme example, let's bring it back to the attraction game on a date or a first, second or third date, whatever the case may be. Then if we're talking about this dynamic range, we're talking about the physical touch. We're talking about you holding silences. We're talking about you teasing her a little bit and not backing out of your opinions. Creating pressure from that lower energy that wants to take space instead of give space. And this is likely what you're struggling with. So what you need is one simple handle that's going to alleviate the pressure that is currently stopping you from expressing that lower energy. The absolute foundation for sexual energy to be felt and for attraction to be created is silence. Silence is the foundational element for attraction to be built on. Eye contact while you're talking isn't that special. It all begins with silence. And when we master the ability to handle a silence and to create attraction in that way, then you become comfortable enough to hold eye contact and to do physical touch and all this other stuff. You are preventing silence because you're unable to handle pressure, which causes you to shut down. And for that reason, you are avoiding the silences as a whole. So you talk too fast, you talk too early, you talk too much. All these ways in which men typically are preventing attraction from being created. So if the problem is an inability to handle pressure, then the only real solution is a way for you to alleviate that pressure and still express that lower energy, right? That's where the hold rule comes in and fixes that in a very powerful way. Do you know that feeling where You have a piece of information or a story or something happened to you, and your friends, they want to know the sauce, right? They want to know everything, and you choose to be a little bit of an asshole and withhold the information. And the longer you wait, the more they want to know, and so on. That same feeling is the basis of this rule. So let me illustrate. In conversation with women, it isn't the pressure itself that scares you. It is the continuity of that pressure. It is the feeling in that moment that this silence lasts forever. And that creates that spiraling fear in your system. You can handle pressure. You're not afraid of pressure. You're afraid of pressure when you don't know the end of it. That is what we are always afraid of, to lose control. So a few years ago, I noticed that when I was getting to know a girl, I would often, when I had something nice to say, that I would withhold it for a second. Just like that example I told you about with your friends. That when you know what you're going to say next, and especially when you're excited about saying it, that you can hold silence in a very comfortable, non-pressured and fun way. So I would be smiling, I would be making eye contact with her as I'm holding this silence for a second, letting her feel that energy. And this is so powerful when you know what you're going to say next, and especially when you're excited about what you're going to say next, then this is the perfect opportunity to hold for a second or two in a way that doesn't make you feel this fear of losing control in that pressure. For example, she asks a question that excites you, you know what you're going to say, hold. She says something risky and you either want to comfort her or tease her a little bit, you know what you're going to say, then hold for a second. Especially if you're going to comfort her and be more safe, then at least let that silence be there for a second. You know what you're going to say. You know when you're going to release that pressure. You decide how long that silence is going to be. So you can start with just a brief pause and then start playing more with it as you get more comfortable. And that is really the essence of this whole video here. That you know you have this masculinity in you. There's just a few things in the way, and you don't need anything more than this to start getting comfortable in these situations, to start building that momentum of playfulness, and you will see that from there, everything will go by itself. When you open this side of you, then there will be a tipping point where you will become comfortable expressing that sexual desire towards her. So no man, you don't need to visualize getting that attraction meter to 100 and what are all the ways to get there. You should focus on getting that meter to 20 just with this hold rule, and from there you will see how things will flow naturally. Right? We want to get you in this state of being comfortable with your masculine energy. From there it's downhill and you will be the man who is able to create this dynamic range in these interactions where you are indeed making her feel very safe and comfortable and warm, but you're also able to tease her and to touch her and to hold silences and to make eye contact, all on the foundation of that one simple rule. And so, most importantly, go have fun with this, because that's all there is to it. And of course, this is just one of the many tools in the program that I run. This is from the organic cold approaching chapter. If you are a more introspective, business-oriented man who wants to get his dating life on track so that you can attract your feminine partner to share your life with, if you finally want to really address that, this is the most comprehensive program out there. A full transformation where we go from deep work to meeting her, building a relationship, all the way to the bedroom. Everything is included for you to have a relationship where you feel like a man and she gets to feel like a woman. Then just know that there's currently 2 spots open. And with that, I'll see you in the next one. Take care of yourself, man. Cheers.